Hello, here's a video in which I, Nick, will show you a review of the LEGO Legends of Chima Construction set, CHI Cragger. So, here is CHI Cragger. So, at first, before I start with the review, I really need to say I really like all of the Legends of Chima Construction figures. There's really not a single one I dislike. Of course, they have all their features and aspects I dislike, but there's not one I completely dislike. There's always more to them I like than things I do not like. So here is CHI Cragger. And CHI Cragger is of course the crocodile. So he needs crocodile features. And for what I can see, he has all crocodile features. He has the color green with some olive green, some earth green and olive green, and he has a tail, and this body here is just fantastic. It's just amazing. Look how this goes. It's just one just great crocodile shape. It starts with the bent tail, and really using a bent 10 tail here is just the best they could do. I'm really happy they still got this part in the in use. It goes to like this, so then it takes this shape, and then it goes so. It's like an S, you see? An S. Letter S. 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 An S. C, it says. And it's, well, it also has its crocodile hat, and that one can open in 3 positions, closed, and when he's closed he looks good from most angles. I only do not really like the front because it is really straight human-like teeth here, but here it is more crocodile-like, more monstrous. Here it is like it's straight. I don't really like the front of it, but it is particularly human because of the chi, so I can understand it. Then we have one that is just, I think, speech, talking. Like this he will talk. And I think this is kind of the basic position you can have him in when you pose him. And then here is really attacking and biting. So he's the only one that has actually something it can do with his head. The most only have heads to have heads, but this one has his head actually as a weapon. So that is a cool addition to this one. The heads are mostly the only parts that are unique to them. And this one has now 2 unique parts, and it is just great that even with just a design part that is meant to be unique to it, it still has something it can do with it. It is not just a collector design part you can pose, you can watch it, you can collect. It is really something part of the set you can do something with, and I really appreciate that. It wouldn't be complete with that head. I mean, with the other ones you can change the heads and around, and it wouldn't affect what they can do. It wouldn't affect their battle abilities, but this one really needs his head to be complete. Then it also has some spikes. It has them on the shoulders, on the upper arms, on the upper legs, and around the back. And I think these 2 really help out with this sticking out. Well, actually, it kinda makes sense because these stick out. It also makes sense this one sticks out. Although it is not completely like you see it now on the camera. On the camera it looks like this is just a spike now. But in real life that is kinda different. In real life it is really like so. So it doesn't replace a spike. It is really something sticking out, but the spikes make it look a little bit better, even though they've got a different color. I do not really understand the spikes though, as it is a crocodile and I can't remember crocodiles having spikes on their back. but they probably had some more pieces left to use on him, and they thought, well, we'll just use some spikes. Some of the other ones also use spikes, so it's I'm okay with it, but I think it is only as claws and as claws, really only as claws. Even on the bird wings it is kind of representing a claw, and on the bird legs it is representing a claw also. And of course on the fingers of Laval Warriors it represents claws, and Corson doesn't have it. So it is kind of off and kind of strange, but it looks cool, so that is just okay, as long as it looks cool, you know. It is still fantasy. If it was a complete normal crocodile, they could just have released a normal crocodile from Lego, you know, Lego Creator Crocodile. It is part of the Legend of Chima series, and you know, so it is okay to use some fantasy, although there isn't really much story about behind the spikes. Then we go to also a little bit more about shape. The S shape it has, the letter S, really is really looks great, but also how solid it is. It is really solid. I mean, from here. Oh, by the way, this piece, most people do it like so. I hope I can get more light on it. Most people put this piece like so, but it really has to be like this, otherwise you are pushing it against the part. So it has to be like this, and the tail has to be like this. So, just so you know it. But it is really solid, because here there's almost no gap in it. Here there's a little bit gap of bone, but for the shape it could just be part of the figure, for the color not. But Cragger has some black in his color scheme, so that is just okay. Then we go here, and here is a little part of this sticking out. If they could just put, you know, this a little bit down, bend it, you could just cover this here. But just like I said, black is part of the color scheme of Cragger, so it doesn't really bother me much that there are some panels shown here, because, you know, there isn't much you can put in here. You can, I think, easily put one of, no, not even, you can't even do that. So there isn't really much you can do there without using a whole lot of parts. So it looks alright. It's not a big trouble to me. Not something to worry about. And it really takes shape with this, because here it is flat and it's like the most deep part, and here it kinda gets from thick, it gets, you know, more into the figure, and then here it is completely flat, like a sort of skin coming through the armor. So that if you just use some imagination, it looks cool still. Then we go from here, we go to this, and then yet again this part I'm talking about. But then we go to here, and this here is to cover the back of the neck. The front of the neck isn't covered, but I'll talk about that in a second. The sides of the neck really fit in with the shape of here, and then this really fits onto this part where the actual neck piece is attached, and on that is the head attached, and then that goes into the head. I mean, then here we got a nice S shape, letter S, but then one thing I don't really like is that here it doesn't really fit all that well with the shape as I'm talking about. I mean, here that perfectly fits in so it can look up, and that is okay, but, and here, well, it is okay, but there's kind of a straight gap in here, and I don't really like that. I mean, the whole shape of the head makes sense, but then there's this little tiny bit sticking out like his really thin neck after all this bulkiness. That is kinda sad, but I mean, if they'll just make this a little bit longer so it will stick there. But besides that, it has all of the motion like this, and it goes from here down, and then you can have the lower jaw and lower jaw, and here it really has the shape to fit in here, so that is okay, but it could have been better, I think. Then also about here, all these bone pieces really fill up the gaps in here. This gap that is here, so like this half square gap, is filled in by the bone pieces. And some of you think you always need to cover the bone pieces, but you can also use the bone pieces to fill in things which would normally be open. Now you can look through him. I mean, if you would cover that with a bone piece, you put the bone piece there to fill it in, you shouldn't be complaining about there's a bone piece exposed, because the bone piece covers things up. So this actually looks plain weird, I just noticed it. But if you look like so on him, you can see this whole open gap. That is not really a thing I'm a fan of, but well, okay. Then we go to the color scheme. The color scheme is really nice with this one. It is one of the best color schemes, I think. Only the black feet don't really fit, but the black feet do fit with all of the black bones exposed, because the black bones are kind of part of the color scheme, especially here and here. So his black feet also need to be part of the color scheme. And these feet are lately only used in black in any set. Only in Ogram used them in brown to represent wood. So I really don't know why they do not use them anymore in different colors. I mean, it could perfectly have been olive green, but they just didn't. They wanted to have it black. Maybe they are going to change the parts and don't want it to have it in many new colors. I don't know, but they just have it in black. But apart from that, it has a really nice color scheme. The olive green really fits. It starts with all earth green in the center of him. Then here's some olive green already exposed on his scales, and then we go, and then there sticks out some olive green. So on the sides there's some olive green. If this would also have been olive green, it would have fit with his olive green hands, but they didn't do that. So these parts are a little bit lonely in the color scheme, but they still fit, and the head really fits with the color scheme too. I think this is just one of the coolest hats there is, and also this scar is really nice. And look, here's the scar. It's really nice scar. Then well, that was actually about the color scheme. I think the two colors really work well together. And one thing I have noted in my preview of this set is that I really don't like the creepiness and the skinniness of this thing. I think I understand the story of it being skinny, because it needs to be creepy in that way. He's a creepy kind of villain, but I haven't really seen Cragger always as a creepy kind of villain. I always thought he was bulky and he was really a warlord kind of villain, just an heroic villain like. He wasn't really a creepy, dark villain. He was a heroic villain. Well, not that he was good, but not a heroic good, but he was heroic like in his title and in his reputation. He was bulky. He had an army. He was just clean. He wasn't dirty. He was just just a really good villain. He was just as good as Laval, and Laval is really bulky, but this one is not bulky, and I think they took away the bulkiness and went for the creepy look just to save some armor bits here, so they can really work on this shape here. So I understand that, but I really would have gone for a bulky look, but this one is still okay. And this one's the only one with the tail, but I understand he has a tail because Cragger has always always had something with his tail, and a crocodile without a tail is just incomplete. A lion you can do without a tail, a bird also, a gorilla certainly, but a crocodile really can't do without his tail. I hope the minifigures will want to be able to have a tail, but they don't right now, but at least this one has a tail, so I'm okay with this one being the only one with a tail. It's also the only one with a realistically moving jaw, so that works out. So, kinda shame he's a bit skinny, but we get good stuff back for it, so in return for it, so it is okay, just not what I had gone for. But then also the spikes on the legs, they don't limit the motion in any way. Spikes on the arms neither, so that's okay. The spikes there, they couldn't put them here because that's what looks like bird claws, and because there's no armor shell here. And then we go to the weapon. Well, I first just want to have a final look at the head. You can see these little bits of earth green painting on here is really nice. The red eyes are really nice printed. This silver defense armor, really nice. And just the snout, it is thin here, just like a real crocodile, I think. Or like a stereotypical crocodile, or just like a real crocodile, I don't know. And here you just got nose holes, that also looks really nice. It looks a little bit comical, not in funny way, but in comic book way. But I'm okay with that because it is still Lego, and Lego always had something like that. And here he has this scar, and here he hasn't it, so he isn't fully symmetrical. I really appreciate that. It is actually, his scar is the only thing that is not symmetrical apart from the weapon. So that is kind of, well, and of course this, but this one I have also the feeling it is moving. It could be either in this way. So apart from that, this is really, the scar isn't printed, by the way. It's really the shape in the mold. Now that is just really nice. Also, Cragger is the only one which hasn't a head made out of different segments. The other ones have segments put into each other, so they don't have to paint everything, and then they have just screwed it together. This one just has one piece here, not different segments. It is not that there is a red piece behind to make the eyes red. It is really all painted on this one. It's okay with me because we get a in return we get this moving gel, so I can't complain about that. So that's okay. And then finally we go to the weapon. I really have no idea how long I'm talking right now, but that'll be okay, I guess. Okay. So now about the weapon of this thing. Here is the weapon. It has a nice kind of these blades. It has two of them in titanium metallic, one of them in bright red. This is not transparent, by the way. I was really expecting it to be transparent, but it is not. It was glowing on the you know, on the package, on the back, but it isn't really transparent. It is more really blood-like red, but I don't know, it still looks cool, but I would have appreciated it just being transparent. Maybe they couldn't have get right plastic to have it transparent, but it would just have been better, I think. Then this stick is made out of different of these axle extensions in reddish brown. I don't really know why they've done it. They could have just done one long axle in brown. That would be a little bit skinny, but just one long axle and then these pin extensions, these double pinholes through here. Just so it wouldn't have been had the ability to get loose, to get detached at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So that would have been better, but in return you can just play that is someone slices his sword through the weapon, and the weapon gets apart, and then there is some more chi energy coming through it. So it's nice actually. This is not transparent because now this has the same color. So this is broken, and now there's chi energy all coming out of it. There's chi charge coming here, and now it's 2 weapons. But this weapon is broken, so it's not a good thing after all. But you can do that, so that is kind of cool. This chain is okay. Most of the villains, except of Warriors, have them. Only Razor and Cragger actually means that, but it is a trademark for the villains. But Warriors couldn't use it because there wasn't place for Warriors to use it. But I really need to tell you that, well, this weapon, it is not really nice. It is actually, it is a little bit too wide. It is the only one to use this, and it had to be used somewhere, but it's a little bit too wide, especially with these things sticking out. It is an okay weapon, it looks nice still, but it should have been a little less wide. I understand, but maybe just these things off of it, and it looks, that already looks better, I think. Or maybe so. Is this? Yeah, this would be the right way, white, for it to have. This here looks okay. You can also just hook someone by you. So that also is alright, and when he uses one of these sword bases, sword hilts. So that was CHI Cragger, and I really like this one. I'm not going to give it a number or on a scale from 1 to 10 because I'm really bad at these things, but I really like it. So it's okay. It has more good things than bad things. It has some disappointments, a little few of them, but it is okay. It is not that horrible. It could have been terrible. No, I really like it. I'm just kidding right now. I really like it. I'm really happy to have this one. I'm really happy to have all of them. It looks really nice. Just the shape of it. The designers really start to get the hang of it. And the action figures are just getting better and better and better. So this one is just great. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Or I'll talk to you again soon. Then I need to say, please do not forget to subscribe. All of the Chima reviews are coming up. I just need some time for them. And my mock overviews are coming up too. And I've bought some Lego things, actually 3 Lego things, which are not of action figures, which I will be reviewing. And then it is time to say bye. Bye.